episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody. I am joined alongside my co-host and good friend London Beth. And today we are bringing you the update from the first few days of 2021 Chicago Bears training camp at Halas Hall. Eddie Goldman, he's back. The defense looks like 2018 all over again, and coach is already saying it's going to be that way again. We picked up a few more wide receivers. We'll get into that in a little bit. Why Justin Fields looks so damn good already, and he's being compared to Dak Prescott. And unfortunately, a few injury updates from early in training camp. Nothing too serious. But before we begin, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Stupid Car Tray. Tired of your pizza topping sliding, office coffee distracting you while driving, grease and other stains getting on your seat, or you're just enjoying a game on the couch and don't want to lean over? Look no further than the Stupid Car Tray. Proudly USA made, Stupid Car Tray makes your passenger seat or couch a level surface for all transportation and couch potato needs. With accessories like the Stupid Seat Anchor, hand sanitizer bottle, or 100% silicone grip mat, your tray is the ultimate car organizer. With over 20 different color combinations, there's a Stupid Car Tray for everyone. Visit www.stupidcartray.com and use discount code J16 to get 16% off your entire order. Link in the description.
We still love Cheryl, though, of course. Although she's a Packer fan, good luck with Aaron Rodgers. Let's jump into it, Nick.
And Randall Cobb is back on the Packers, Bears fans.
Oh
Just want to clay.
Goodness.
Anything to keep that guy in Green Bay.
$10 million, by the way. $10 million.
I don't know. I don't know where the Green Bay Packers get money anymore. Like, they're like the Patriots. They're like any other like crazy dynasty team that just like the NFL's like, oh yeah, you can go 40 million over the cap. No problem. We won't tax you.
Yeah, didn't they draft that guy, Amari Rodgers, who like his NFL comp out of Clemson, and his NFL comp was like Randall Cobb, and he's like $1 bajillion less. Just, I don't know what's going on. Whatever.
Anything to keep Rodgers happy. That's what the Packers are doing. But we're not worried about them. We're worried about the Chicago Bears. Let's jump into topic number one. Eddie Goldman is back, baby. He is back at camp. It is confirmed from photos and from teammates that Eddie Goldman is at camp. He is looking lean and mean. Go check out our Instagram, and he is ready to raise hell on the gridiron. Roquan Smith was the first player to announce that Eddie Goldman was for sure at camp, just to clarify with the media. And then obviously pictures arose of him walking in. He looks good, man. He looks mean. He looks ready to just rip someone's face off. I am very happy for Eddie Goldman to come back, and he is definitely a key piece that's what's going to make this defense go back to that 2018 level. But London, obviously I'm expressing my happiness for Eddie Goldman being back. How are you feeling right now?
So I'm going to play devil's advocate with you, Nick, and I'm just going to kind of go on the other side because we have to be, of course, you're optimistic, so I'll play, devil's advocate. The biggest thing that I'm worried about, he looks phenomenal. Okay. He's there. He reported. He said he was going to report, and that's awesome. A lot of people are very excited. I know I was watching Matt Nagy's press conference, and he talked about Eddie Goldman a lot, trying to, of course, defer away from talking about Justin Fields because every single question is stuff we're going to talk about later in the episode. But I'm just worried where his head's at. I think I'll be happy and totally fine when we're about week 5 and he's dominating in the NFL again. Then I'll be like, okay, we're all good, but I'm just a little worried where his head's at. But if he comes in, dominates at training camp, and continues to be a dominant player in the NFL, then we're good because he looks big. He looks big. I mean, his arms are bigger than both my legs. I mean, he looks big.
And his legs are one of you.
Yeah, seriously.
He is a very big man. If you ever meet Eddie Goldman in person, neither of us have, but we just know from a perspective of weight to height ratio and muscle, he's a freak of a human being. So absolutely very happy that Eddie Goldman is back on the field. But let's get into more about the defense. Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, and Coach Sean Desai are ready to be ball hawks again. There's no more conservative play anymore. No one's worried about the offense. If the defense is scoring, the offense doesn't have to score. In day one press conference, Matt Nagy let the media know that they are ready to go back to their old ways of Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson, who obviously did not play on the 2018 team, but is going to play like Kyle Fuller and Prince Amukamara. Gibson Sr., the next Amukamara at that level, when Amukamara was at his prime. And whoever the other starter is, that's another thing we're going to talk about a little bit. We'll get into that in a second. But as we discussed, Sean Desai is potentially the next Vic Fangio. Let him make a name for himself. Let him run his own defense. We might have me saying Coach Desai. No more Godfather. The Godfather's 2018. I still love him though. I got a shirt that says the Godfather on it. I'll wear one of these episodes one day. But the defense already loves him. Eddie Jackson loves him. Gibson Sr. loves him. That's a great start for the Chicago Bears. And he's Coach Sean Desai is a very smart, very skilled coach, and something that this team is looking very forward to having, especially in regards to having the ball hawks. They are ready to make quarterback life hell. And before we get back into that, London, Kendall Vilder is turning heads at training camp. London called it. There's no denial about it. London called it. Kendall Vilder could be competing for that other starting cornerback position. I know a lot of people think Trufant is going to take it, but I don't know. When Ryan Pace, your GM, who isn't a coach, is saying like he's turning heads, and then you got Matt Nagy backing him up, Kendall Vilder, man, I don't know. The ball hawks are back. I'm saying it now. The ball hawks are back. Week 1 against the Rams, I want Matthew Stafford picked off twice like he used to get in Detroit when they used to play Chicago. So very exciting, London. How you feeling right now about the ball hawks?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. And Nick, I know you gave me kudos there on Vildor and calling that out, that he's going to be pushing for that like nickel corner, or even honestly, maybe even a starting corner now that King Pace said something and talked about that he's just popping off and just been having a great offseason. The biggest thing I'm going to say, though, is people should go back and listen to our like secondary video of like training camp. When we talked about the secondary, we talked about all the players, we kind of broke them down and stuff, because the biggest thing that we hit on under Coach Desai's defense was that we were going to go back to that ball hawking defense. We're going to apply pressure, and those guys are going to be, in man coverage and absolutely dominate. We're talking about Eddie Jackson, who again leads the NFL in touchdowns returned, and getting back to that. Jalen Johnson looks phenomenal. He looks big. He looks big. We're both happy, Gibson Sr. is back. But I think the biggest thing that I'm most excited about from what I was hearing about the defense is, again, they were literally saying almost identical to what we said a week ago about what this defense needs to look like. And they're like, listen, we're going to get back to that. It's going to be what it is. And I am so excited because, honestly, if Aaron Rodgers is thrown into old, slow, unhealthy Randall Cobb, Eddie Jackson, I'm taking that matchup every single time, and it's going to be great.
Shots fired right there. Get ready for a lot of shots fired here, folks. London's in Wisconsin, so like he doesn't care. Come at him. London's ready for it, Packers fans. Bring it this way. That's all we got to say to that. But look out for the ball hawks this year. They look great in training camp so far. During training camp, there have been 2 free agent acquisitions at wide receiver position, likely going to be on special teams / punt return, kick return. The first one is ex-Falcon Justin Hardy. He's 28 years old, spent his entire year with Atlanta, was drafted by them. He's a speed demon. Fast guy, 5'10". I think he's in the 170, 180 range. He's fast. So I think this is a big move for the Chicago Bears because it looks like they might keep Goodwin and Bird out of any potential situation they could get hurt. Justin Hardy might take that. So I see him being that. And then they also signed ex-Cowboys wide receiver. We all know I'm horrible with names. Javay Johnson. He's undrafted. He was undrafted. He's from Toledo. He's been a practice squad guy his entire career. So obviously he was doing something in Dallas to turn some heads. But there's not really much about this guy besides his college clips. Go check him out. I believe this is his third year, going to be his 4th year in the NFL. So 2 free agent signings, and we dropped a couple undrafted free agents. Those names are to be given later. But overall, the Bears picked up 2 wide receivers. Don't expect them to be in the wide receiver room. Expect them to be on special teams or potentially practice squad. So London, Justin Hardy's obviously the bigger name. I really haven't heard about this Johnson guy, but what do you think? Why do you think the Bears made this move, and why is it beneficial?
Yeah, I mean, John Vay Johnson, like I said, was just kind of
John Vay
Johnson was just kind of a practice squad guy for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he just brings depth. We didn't actually sign a ton of like undrafted free agent wide receivers or anything. So I would expect him to be kind of a practice squad. Just Dallas probably didn't want him. Got rid of him. We picked him up. Justin Hardy, though, is kind of exciting. I mean, he is a really good punt returner and kick returner. He is fast, and he's kind of the same player as Bird. The biggest thing is when injuries started piling up last year for the Atlanta Falcons, he did get time on the field, and he has got time on the field. Do I expect him pushing for a starting position? Absolutely not. But does he kind of fit the mold of the wide receiver core that we're going with, which is fast, speed, fast, fast, fast. Absolutely. And I agree with you. I think kick return, punt return is probably where he's going to be at. If he even makes the 53-man roster, I don't know. But again, I expect us to bring in a lot more guys throughout training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's probably like the lighter subject. So keep a lookout for those guys. Again, they're not going to be turning heads they could turn heads at camp, but they're not the media's attention right now, because the next guy we're going to talk about is the media's attention. Justin Fields is already doing amazing at training camp, according to reports from fans that have been there, who were fortunate enough to get those, want to be part of the 1,000 people that are there a day. But also Matt Nagy is bringing it up, and that's something that's super exciting. Sorry, I got a splinter in my finger. But Justin Fields is bigger, stronger, and faster than Dak Prescott, from former safety Ryan Clark. That's a big statement right there. That is a huge statement. A lot of people that didn't believe that Justin Fields was 243 pounds in our last video, go look it up, because Dak's about that big. So Clark thinks that Fields could be a starter week 1. And the exciting thing is that Matt Nagy is not ruling that out at all. I know literally yesterday we talked about how, Andy Dalton was promised a starting job and he's going to be the week 1 starter. But Fields is obviously doing something right in order to make coaches happy, and they want him to potentially be the starter for week 1. London, what are your thoughts? I mean, this is pretty exciting news. And I know a lot of Bears fans are like, please start him week 1. If Matt Nagy's saying it, that's his guy. That's his guy. Let him do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back again and just give us both a pat on the back here, because we're just, again, correct. When we talked about Matt Nagy coming into this season, we said, hey, listen, he's putting all the chips in his corner. He's putting all the eggs in his basket, okay? And he's saying, hey, I'm going to bet on myself, because I know that I'm a good coach and I can continue to have this team competing at an extremely high level. What does that look like, though? And I know I actually listened to Ryan Clark talk about this, and I heard it on Twitter, and I saw it actually, I think, live on NFL Network. And the biggest thing he talked about was what is going to help save and what is going to help redeem Matt Nagy as a head coach after last season. Is it going to be being conservative and playing Andy Dalton? Granted, even though I would like to see that for a couple weeks just to give Justin Fields some time. But agreed. I have always been that person that if Justin Fields is ready, you have to put him in. And I believe Matt Nagy is starting to kind of see and feel that also, that if he is ready to take the reins, he of course is the future of the Chicago Bears. And Matt Nagy is going to put all those eggs in that basket and say, hey, Andy Dalton isn't going to save my career, okay? Andy Dalton is not going to save the Chicago Bears. That's what Justin Fields is here for. And so I actually like it. And in every single press conference, again, he kind of tries to just avoid talking about Justin Fields as a whole, but he doesn't deny anything. He doesn't say no. He doesn't say no. He doesn't deny. He just kind of like tiptoes around it, kind of like Ryan Pace does, which is totally fine, but that's not a no. And if it's not a no, then there definitely is a door open. And I will say this again, just like I said it to every other player on our team, that door open for Justin. Take the bull by the horns. Take this Chicago Bears team by the horns. Do something crazy with it, because you will automatically be a legend in this city, because we have been starving for a dominant quarterback. And honestly, just a dominant athlete, probably since Michael Jordan or like Derrick Rose. And those were 2 NBA players. But I mean, we're just starving for it.
Take over, baby. Hey, but don't forget Patrick Kane and Jonathan Tays either, London. We can't forget the Hawks. Big Blackhawks news. Go check out our Instagram. All the updates are there. And then just quickly, a few unfortunate injuries, but nothing serious. Eddie Jackson has a hamstring injury, sat out practice today. Tevin Jenkins, back tightness. Little massage, little water massage, hydro massage, in those Bears locker rooms at Bears Fit. Go check it out. It's a great, awesome gym, by the way. That's why I've been wearing the hat, because it's a good time over there. And Jermaine Ifedi, I got it right. I looked it up just to make sure, because I got roasted again last episode. Ifedi, with a hip flexor injury, they all sat out practice today. So don't be alarmed when the injury report comes out. It's going to be okay, guys. There's a couple weeks till the season. Let these guys heal up and get it right. But
there was one person, Nick, I wanted to bring up because you've been so high on him. Robert Quinn was limited. So was Blau Nichols. They were limited in practice day. Yeah, he was He was limited. Robert Quinn was limited again, and I saw that, and I was a little bit worried about it. It was kind of a late announcement, and they limited him pretty heavily.
But I will say that yesterday, Ryan Pace says that he looks like he's in better shape than last year.
He does. And we need him to be. That's why I was so concerned.
Yeah. So, okay, we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. So stay tuned for more. We're going to be back. We're taking a day off tomorrow. London and I have been working for you guys. And we're more than happy to do it. So thank you all for your support. But stay tuned for this Friday's episode for the week 1 recap of training camp. But with that, my name is Nick Rohde. I am joined alongside my co-host and good friend, London Beth, and we will see you guys on Friday.